What's up, weebs and weebettes? Welcome to the first episode of the Anime Club podcast, where we talk anime, some movies, and even some games. And right here, you have your club presidents. I'm Danny, also King Danimals on the Twitch and Twitter.
And you got your boy Christian here, also known as Viva La Paco on Twitter and Twitch. People call me Go Paco for short.
And Teresa here. You can go to Instagram and find me on Risa Kipu for my art account. So
I'll put all the socials down below in the info area. So welcome. How are you guys doing there? What are you guys watching this season in anime and stuff?
I am, believe it or not, I'm catching up on Attack on Titan. I've seen a lot of memes, seen a lot of reaction videos to the final season, and I stopped watching on season 2 just because life, and I was like, I gotta go back and watch it. So just finished season 3, a second episode of the final season, and
you get to that good stuff now.
Oh yeah,
because it slows up, but now you have that good stuff.
Yeah, bro, same. Like me and my brother's been catching up on Attack on Titan. That's like a couple of months ago when we started rewatching it because the third season was coming out, and now we're watching it or watching the final season.
Fourth season, yeah. That's a lot of people been binging that. I think Rob was binging that too.
Yeah, because it's just because the breaks were so long between each season that people forgot. And
what happened?
That's the main reason I went back to season 2, because I knew like the main plot line, but I wanted to go back for those details. You're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. So
yeah, I got you. Well, what we're gonna do here is some icebreaker questions for the people to get to know us, since this is the first time in the anime club. So hope you guys are ready. Let me bring up the questions here. I don't have a place to put them. I might put them in this little corner down here. There's some blank spots. But the first question we have, y'all, is what anime started it all for us, for you guys? You can go first.
All right. Easy for me, as you can tell, Dragon Ball Z.
I was looking at the background. I was like, damn, really? Gundam?
Whoa. No. Actually, it's actually a tie, because Dragon Ball Z and Gundam came on Toonami. Toonami, I think, is going to be mostly everybody's introduction to anime, unless you had good internet and could stream from Japan, which...
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, I mean, everyone knows. I mean, I watched, all the Toonami shows, but what really caught me was Dragon Ball Z, which is kind of big in the Hispanic community, as one of like the OGs that every Hispanic guy kind of knows. And it's like a rite of passage as you're growing up to watch some DBZ. But, Gundam Wing, my second favorite. So those two really is what got me in it. Well, Dragon Ball Z, yelling, power-ups, Super Saiyans, all that. That was...
all that action.
Exactly. And then Gundam, the mechs, you had huge robots fighting each other in space. What's not to like?
Is that why Dragon Ball Z were the only, back in the days they had the homie stickers, and Dragon Ball Z was the only anime I ever saw in like the homie stickers.
I think a lot of people didn't realize how big Dragon Ball Z is for like the Hispanic community until Dragon Ball Super came out, and people like were watching Goku versus Jiren in fucking plazas, like on a big screen.
Nice.
That's pretty lit.
Yeah, so, and that was like in Mexico and Argentina, like everywhere, because it's like the anime that you ask any Hispanic guy, like, yo, have you seen Dragon Ball Z? They'll be like, yeah, I watch it. Like, it's just, I think the reason is because it got there first, and they actually did Spanish dubs for it.
That's
nice.
Big.
Yeah. So that was, and it just flew off, and it showed on it. And no one had internet back then to stream, so you got what you got, and Dragon Ball Z just kind of just took over.
Nice.
I'm actually the same way too, except Gundam came on a little bit later. The first two actually was Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon. I watched Sailor Moon by myself, but when it came to Dragon Ball Z, me, my cousins that lived in the same neighborhood back then, and my brother, after school, we all come over to my house, we watch it, and then like after that, we would reenact everything and play fight in our living room.
Yeah.
It got so
days.
intense one day where it was like my cousin accidentally kicked my window and broke it. So, but Dragon Ball Z really did start it all for me too.
I don't think it was, well, for me, similar in the what do you call it, in the Toonami phase, but I wasn't good on time, so I'd catch random episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho and stuff like that. And Dragon Ball, not the Z. I watched the Dragon Ball. That was fire. I used to love the adventure portion of it. But I think the anime that got me into it, like into anime, is Ninja Scroll.
Really?
Yeah, because like one day I was just sleeping, at a cousin's house. Woke up in like the middle of the night and I was like, anime's on. But it was on like HBO. And it was like, I call that towards the beginning. So, they had that scene where the big rock dude was trying to take advantage of that lady. And the dude came in with the swords and gave him the work. But like, I ended up standing up watching that whole anime. And it opened up how like anime can have like adult themes and stuff like that. It still be dope stuff. And I didn't know anime do this.
Yeah, I think the first like you said that there was Dragon Ball Z and the Gundams and like the Rurouni Kenshi that was on too. But I think the very first that to me classified as an anime, because back then I thought it was just cartoons, like this is a cartoon. And then the first one that I said, oh, this is an anime, like this is a genre, was Bleach. You can go and ask if you know John Wynn. This man was a god. He downloaded and burned the first 2 seasons of Bleach for me, and he gave me the DVDs, and I watched them at home. And I watched them because when Bleach started airing, I don't know how many times they fucking repeated the first season on Toonami, like forever. And John was like, oh, yeah, season 2 already came out and ended. I'm like, when? And then that's when he did it for me. And then that's how I started. That was actually my first sub anime that I watched. Because everything else was dub. I didn't even know there was a sub or a dub. And then after that, I was like, wow. And from there, that led to Naruto. And pretty much rest is
subs open up the doors to that different stuff.
Yeah,
not
subs.
Just the Toonami way.
Yeah, subs are like, oh my god.
All right, so now number 2. What is your personal favorite intro and outro theme song, or intro or outro theme song? Like for me, it's pretty simple. It's Bluebird. It just hits every time.
It's a classic.
You seen her perform live on stage by herself, and I just like, no, that's a ruin. Bluebird. But I seen the other one because a close second is Unraveled by Tokyo Ghoul. It's just fire.
That's pretty good.
It sets the whole tone for the anime, and then you go in there ready to see somebody get the piece. But Bluebird to me is it's just so fire.
That's a hard one. I mean, obviously, like I said, if you can't tell by now, I'm a huge DBZ fanboy. Obviously, the original dubbed DBZ opening was great. Like I like, it was hype. It was rock and roll. It was awesome. It got you hyped to watch. Yeah, it got you hyped. But if I had to pick one that was the best intro with the best theme song, is Code Geass with Colors. That song, I still play it to this day. It's on my Spotify playlist. I think it's one of the best intros with like song, animation, and the series was great. So
add that to my checkout right there.
Colors, amazing song. I love the jazz, the everything. So yeah, Colors, Code Geass, my favorite intro song for anime.
Okay.
This one's really hard actually, because it's like you guys already know my memory's not like super hot. I remember like some parts of the song, but I was like, I don't know the name of it. My favorite nostalgia factor would be Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon's intro was pretty fire.
Good.
It just Tuxedo Mask was whack. The way Tuxedo
useless.
ass.
That's what he was. But anyway,
that intro
my favorite
fire.
Outro. What's an outro song? That's like the end, right?
Yeah, close credits.
Oh, okay. No, my favorite intro would actually be Demon Slayer intro. It's just like, I don't know why, it just reminds me, it's just like, have I watched this before? But it's not because it's new. It sounded like one of those old 90s-ish
I gotta add this
anime
too.
intros. But yeah, I like Demon Slayer. It's always lit. I watched a band do a cover of it, and it was just like, you're just like,
Fire.
you know, yeah, it was just fire.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't watched Demon Slayer actually.
It's good.
I know it's been like super. I've read it, so when I read something, I'm like hesitant or not as. I gotta go watch it now, as it should be. So
Yeah.
I'll go check it out, especially
Yeah,
if someone says it has a fire intro. That's
like,
a draw.
it's the anime, like, because you already know it's like all hype. Sometimes, like, an anime is all hype, you watch it, and you're just like, oh, it's not that good.
Yeah.
Like, take it for what it is and just enjoy the ride, kind of. That's how I take the anime. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, yeah, this
yeah.
is the best shit ever.
That's where I'm at since like I said, we read it and it's finished, so I know where it's going. So if I watched it, it'd just be for the ride. We know what's up and see that animation because apparently it has some top-notch animation. So I'm here for that. So
Yeah.
now, would you go ahead, Christian? Go ahead.
Oh, I'll say, ending song is actually very recent. They got taken over last year by Fire Force. Their ending theme for season 1, it's called Veal. It's like it's one of the best endings I've seen to an anime, where the song is great and it makes you pay attention to the. It actually tells a story. Like the outro tells a story, and it's interesting. That's the only reason I actually listened to it the whole way through, because I was like, oh, this is cool. The story that tells at the end, and the song is great too. And my girlfriend actually likes the song now after I played it so many times.
That's a win again. That's how you win. But yeah. Watch this.
That is how you win. Wait, I want to add something too. So my favorite outro song is the one I can never forget because I always wake up just in time to catch it, but I never watch the anime. And it's the Inuyasha one. The Inuyasha ending, where they're like on the Ferris wheel or some shit like that.
Yes,
you know
that
I'll never forget that song. That song is dope.
That's a goat.
I don't know if I have an outro.
Watch that one, Andy. Watch the ending.
Oh, I got it. I added those ones y'all posted because the anime intros and outros be fire. They be having the heat, so I got them on my added over here to check out afterwards.
Yeah. Now I will give a special shout out to what I think is one of the best series of intros ever is the Bleach series. The original Bleach series intros were all great. Like they were all crazy with like some weird fashion and colors and all types of songs. So I think they had one of the best series of intros where each one was great, because I know nowadays you get a hype or like Attack on Titan. Like I'm watching it. Like the third season, their intro was boring. Like it felt like an outro, and I was like, man, let's skip this. But
it's just that's the end, Christian. Come on.
I like Jujutsu Kaisen right now. They have that K-pop like pop intros and outros right now. So I'm like, hey, we in there.
But yeah,
get the dancing on.
Yeah, had to give a shout out to my boy Bleach.
So, I don't think people ask this a lot, but what is your go-to anime genre? On a day you just come home, you want to watch something. What is your go-to genres?
Teresa, I'll let you go on this one.
Okay. My go-to is actually slice of life. I like the non-committal to the story. It's just like they're just doing life every day. They have fun. That's it. It's just, that's it. It's so relaxing. You don't have to worry about like, what did I miss? When did this detail happen?
When is he going to awaken from this state?
Yeah, I actually agree with Teresa on this one. Slice of life is your you don't know what to watch, but you want to watch something and you don't want to get too invested in.
Committed, yeah.
Or like, slice of life / rom-coms are always great.
Rom-coms are where it's
just
at.
because you'll
go ahead. You like them harems. You can put that in there.
I mean, it's like it's included in there, so
It's included in slice of life,
Is
but
it
specifically,
Christian? Are you
specifically
sure?
the harems. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, any such other stuff. I like watching a lot of low key anime that people recommend just for different reasons.
Yeah.
But slice of life, yeah, gotta go with the same thing as Teresa.
I like those, but the reason why my go-to is either a shonen or a sports is for what y'all said, the non-committal, because I can just come in and watch a dope fight scene and just be like, yeah, that was fire, and go to the next. When I watch a slice of life, I'm like, I gotta see what happens next, because maybe y'all
That's so backwards.
like I think Anohana, I watched that like one day because it was just like, I gotta see what happened next. It's so sad or whatever. So like shonens, I come in, just go to this episode to see this dope fight. Hey, that's what's up. Same thing with like sports anime with like Kuroko and Haikyuu. I can come in, watch a dope match, and be like, dang, all right, I can pause until the next time. So that's why like it may be sports over shonen. That's my go-to because Haikyuu's pretty fire right now.
Yeah, and actually, what I do sometimes too is when I'm super indecisive, I just go back and watch old shows, like old shows where I already know the story, I already know the ending, I know the beginning, I know all the details by memory, but I just want to watch. Like I've seen so many Gundam scenes, like Gundam fights, just because the fights were awesome, and I already know the story. I know who dies, who lives, but it's. You don't have to think about, like I said, you don't have to think about, what's going to happen next. I already know what happens next. I just want to see that fight scene and enjoy it for like 20 minutes.
I think that's why I watched What's the Name so many times over. God dang it, now it's slipping my head. Where you pierce the heavens.
Gurren
Gurren Lagann, there we go. Watched it like maybe like once they introduced it to us. Watched it like 4 or 5 times of it. It's an easy watch until people die. You're like, dang. But then it gets easy, and then it gets this little struggle section. But then it's fire again.
Bro, same. It's not an anime per se, but I've watched like all of Bob's Burgers at least 5 times. It's like 10 seasons, and I watched all of it like 5 times.
That's a good go-to. Where you just like something to play in the background. Like I can do regular show like that.
But for me, that's the Boondocks, man. I can have that on replay, like, because I can pay attention to it, or I can just listen to the bullshit lines.
Listen to Boondocks without watching any of it and have a good time.
Yeah, it's just great. Like Boondocks is such a great thing.
So, all right, now we got the hard-hitting questions. What is an anime death that hit you the hardest? There's a lot out there.
I couldn't. This was a really hard question, Dan.
It was because
I could not.
For me, it was like I started thinking about the impactful deaths, like the mini ones in Naruto. Unlike Neji, not impactful because how they did it.
Yeah, that was kind of bullshit, honestly.
The big one in One Piece, that was pretty crazy. But then I just came back to Your Lie in April with Kaori because we knew it was coming. It's like we saw it coming, and it was just a slow burn. And then that final scene was just so great of him performing, and she's dying, but in their head they're performing together for the final time. And at the end of it, she just passes, and we're just like, dang.
Yeah.
That was
that was a good one.
That was like, I think we watched it together, and we was quiet. Everybody's quiet for a bit at the end, which is like, And then someone broke the ice and we started talking about it. It was good. That's the one that hits for me.
Yeah, that one really hit. That's a top 2 for me, just because, like I say, everyone knows it's coming. Like once it's gonna happen, and then the build up to it, where like they kind of foreshadow she already dying earlier than expected, and then she pulls through, and it gives you that false sense of like, oh yeah, and it's like nah. She actually died, but I'm like, God damn.
No.
But yeah, and in the way that they did that scene with the playing and her, like, the whole animation in that scene was amazing.
It was fire.
It was great.
Music was on point. The animation was on point. It was it was fire.
But for me, and I told Danny this. To me, it's gonna be Jiraiya from Naruto, just because you watch Naruto and you finish watching Naruto and then you go Naruto Shippuden, and then the whole time Naruto's just looking for this father figure, someone that he can learn from and lean on, and then he finds Jiraiya. Jiraiya trains him, and then Jiraiya is like this caring father because he taught his dad, and now he's teaching him. He's like a grandpa. He takes him on an adventure. He's like a pervert, but teaching him how to be, like a standout guy. And then he goes on this solo mission, suicidal mission. Last breathing moments, writes a message, and just gets stabbed up everywhere. And then, like, the scene where they tell Naruto was like great. I think the way they did it too, and how the little details that they added with the little like ice pops, and just that everybody was sad for him. I think that's one of the hardest deaths in anime that I watched.
It was a good one too.
How about you, Miss Teresa?
This one I couldn't decide for the longest because it was like the first anime death that I witnessed. That I remember like kind of hit me a little hard was the Haku and Zabuza one. The first time I watched like anime, like I remember like the Outlaw Star and Yu Yu Hakusho, like they have deaths in there too, but it was like dang, that person died. But then like Danny, you just reminded me of one that actually made me like cry, and that was when the death of the Going Merry from One Piece.
Oh yeah,
I read that. Yeah,
a coworker told me that one as well. We were talking about it when I asked him this question. He was just like, "Can I choose like the Mary because that thing was sad."
that was for the build up on it, the story, everything built up to it was perfect. Then at the end, they had to say goodbye to it. Like the Going Merry did the. I can't talk about it, but the Going Merry. It just made me. It was really sad. I was just like, I can't unforget that because it was just. I read it and I cried. That's how impactful it was, I guess.
That's a legit choice. I allowed it because I know it was impactful for a lot of people because it's the Going Merry.
Yeah, that's your first ship, man. I was just like,
And you know what? I'm a liar. It's not Jiraiya because Jiraiya made me feel sad, but there was one death that I watched with my sister. She cried. It hit me. I was like, bro, this is messed up, bro. And then I watched it again with my sister's friend, and my sister cried again, and I was almost at the same point. It's this anime. I don't know if you guys watched it. It's called Dusk, Maiden of Amnesia.
No.
It's an old. It came out years ago. It's old at this point, but the ending scene. She's a ghost, right? And she's dying. She dies in the end, which means, but she's a ghost, so her dying is going off to the moving on.
yeah.
But the fucking like way they executed her like goodbye with the MC, the song is just sad as fuck. Like you can just hear the song and you're gonna tear up, or like you're gonna get in your feels. But you guys just gotta watch that scene. But it's just so sad. And if you watch the whole anime, I think you should definitely watch it. It's one of the, I think, sleeper feel animes that people haven't watched, and because they didn't get that many good reviews at the beginning. But Dusk, Maiden of Amnesia, hardest death that I was like, oh my god, this is kind of
Maiden of Amnesia.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like after getting sad, I'm like, I don't want to get sad again on purpose.
This is where they get you though. The whole point of this anime is about the MC trying to find the mystery of her death because she can't move on. and the mystery of her death is actually gets kind of like fucked up. It's fucked up. Like it's not like for the most part, it's not a in your feels anime. It's like what? This is how she dies? Oh my god, that's fucked up.
Okay.
And then when she moves on, you're like, why are you hitting me with the feels after I was disgusted the whole anime? So it's like I said, the whole everything before that is great because it's a good like kind of thriller mystery anime. It's just the ending. It's just you're like, I don't want to go. I don't want to watch this again, and then you end up watching it again, and you feel sad. But
that's kind of how I felt about Anohana.
I understand
Because she was just a ghost, and like the only the dude could see, and you could see the struggles that everyone in the group was having and coming back to like the hangout spot, and then at the end when they all can see her again, they all like playing the hide and seek game or whatever, and I was like,
Bruh, that's how I feel about School Days. I did not want to watch it. I hated it. Every single episode, I was just like, please end this.
what's wrong with School Days? He was out there in them streets.
Just stressful, man.
No, that School Days ending is wild. I was like,
we gotta save a whole episode for School Days, right?
But let's see, that was a good answer. School Days was wild. If you ain't seen it, I recommend it.
Oh yeah, definitely watch School Days.
10,
watch
10,
it.
guys.
You know, 10 out of 10. You should go watch it.
And stress level. That's what it is.
The next one, what is? Because that was a good one that Christian brought up. I never saw or heard of, but now it's on my radar. What's a good sleeper anime that you would recommend to someone that wants something that they may not have seen?
Ooh, it's a lot. I think.
What's your criteria of sleeper anime? Like people, what they just like kind of brush by? It's like, oh, they ain't that important, or is it like something so niche that you've never heard of?
That
second one?
Yeah, like not so niche. It's just something that like, you know how like if people talk about anime, they all know the Narutos. They all know like right now the Jujutsu Kaisen, the Demon Slayer, the One Piece. They know the stuff that everyone's looking forward to or talk about that gets popular each season. But when you look at the anime for each season, it's like a long ass list. But people usually talk about maybe 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. And it's the animes that like let's say came out when Jujutsu Kaisen came out, but no one watched it because Jujutsu Kaisen came out.
Yeah.
And then somebody else watched it. You're like, yo, well, why is no one watching it? This is great. It has a good story, it has a good plot. But Jujutsu Kaisen came out, so everyone's watching Jujutsu Kaisen. So
like for instance, I'll give you mine. For me, I got 2 actually. One we watched together at your crib with Long and them. It's called Drifters. It had that one season. It was fire. It was like all these people from different time periods getting put in this world, and some people on this side with like Nobunaga and the main character, I forgot his name, and then some people on the bad side. That's where like Yakuza Arc and stuff were. And like it had one season. It was fire, but it never continued. And I was like, man. Apparently they had some OVAs and they had some episodes that never came out, but I thought that was really, really dope. So if y'all just want something. If you don't, well, if you want to watch it, but you may be sad that ain't no season 2. Let you know now, because I was. And the other one I would recommend is My Neighbor Seki. It's like 15-minute shorts of like it's in like a classroom.
Oh,
and the girl that sits behind Seki-kun, and he's just doing like the most randomest stuff in class to like the extreme, and no one ever notices but her, and she's just like freaking out the whole time, and it's funny. Each episode is like something different. They're like 15 minutes long or something like that. So it's short, it's funny, and it's good. That way, My Neighbor Seki. I recommend that above all of them. It's a good time. It's funny.
I got 2 answers too. Different genres, just so that for people that like different things. If you're into music, a little bit of some romantic storyline, but mostly music. It's called Kids on the Block. No, Kids on the Slope. I'm sorry, Kids on the Slope. It's a great piece that reminds me of Your Lie in April in terms of music quality, where the MCs are playing instruments, and some scenes are literally them playing out the song, which is great because there's some good quality music in there, and it's jazz music, so it's great music.
Ooh.
And it's one of the few like I don't think I've seen another anime where they focus a lot of jazz music into it, and it's like that, like type of jazz music people listen to.
Where people get done, it's just like, ooh.
Yeah. So and the plot is there. It's good. It's it has some, it has some twist. So I definitely recommend that just because it's first of all the soundtrack.
Say some fucked up moments.
Yeah, it's like one or two depending on what your tolerance is. But the soundtrack is A1, like one of the best soundtracks ever, just because of the music is so good. But yeah, this Kids on the Slope. If you want to see something jazz related with some romantic, stuff in there sprinkled around, and then the other one,
let's building over here.
Yeah, this one, I started watching just because nothing was on, and I just picked it. It's called From the New World. It's a slow starter, and the animation is not amazing. But once you get to a certain point of the arc, you can't stop watching it. Like, you can't stop. You're going to stay up to 3 a.m. just to watch what they find out, what the answers are to these questions. It's a very compelling storyline. It's not like, oh, there's one twist. It's a twist after twist after twist, and then your ending is another twist, and you're just like, what the fuck I just watched? So if you're into anime with lots of twists and lots of, very deep plot, From the New World is great. Recommend watching it. It's a banger, but no one talks about it. I can see why, because it's a slow starter and the animation isn't there, but it's worth the watch.
I add that. I'll look into that.
Mm-hmm. So, my sleeper anime. It's a lot of sifting right now through my mind because I was just like, I don't remember a lot of the things I watched just because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But if you count Space Dandy as a sleeper anime, I don't know, where's my hand?
The man himself.
The man himself right here. Like, at first it's like, you saw it on Toonami. You're just like, oh, it's some random ass anime. I've never heard of this before. But when you watch it, it was like, I don't know. It's just so fun to watch. It was like the story was a little slice of life-ish. Yeah, it's a little weird, He's just trying to do his thing, getting money. He likes boobs, that kind of shit,
It had a whole song about butts, and I was like,
yeah,
I need to watch this.
You watch it. It's such a good watch. I was like, I am so obsessed with it. It was like, I love my Space Boys, and he is my top dog right here.
I can
tell. With the chops, this man got the chops.
I mean, look at that pompadour.
Pompadour with the chops. He was good for nothing.
And this is the anime. This is the anime I can watch both sub and dub, and it'll be perfect. No awkward, voice acting or whatever. So I was just like,
yeah, that's kind of hard to find one like that too.
Gotta watch it for that the butt song.
Exactly. And it's just like my other sleeper anime would be, I mean, there's 2 more. They're both kind of slice of life-ish. One of them is very niche, and I found this by accident because I was just like, oh, this sounds interesting. Let me click on this and watch that shit. And it's called Mushishi Zoku Sho. Right? And it's like, I told you about this before, Danny, like a long, long time ago. But it's like, it's this white-haired guy. He's real chill, real quiet. He travels around with like things to kind of like rid spirits. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's just like the whole atmosphere of the anime is just so zen, and it's like it gives you like, I don't know. It's just
it looks quite tranquil.
It is. It's like it's real fun to watch too.
Add these. Yeah. I don't have time to binge lately, but I'm gonna add these.
Yeah. But it's like, that's a good anime to watch, like, while you're eating or whatever. You don't have to be too invested. You just know this guy's going to come, rid some spirits, and then move on.
Keep moving.
Yeah. The other one is Laid Back Camp. Watch that.
Laid Back Camp?
Laid Back Camp. That's such a cute show.
that one?
I think I've seen that one before, yeah.
It'll get you in the mood for camping. 100%.
Oh, this looks like, I think I've seen the art for this, but I didn't watch it.
I think
watch it.
Yeah, I think I watched this one, yeah.
Wait, I'm on the mod. What's that one with the 8 kids? Would that be considered a sleeper?
What 8 kids?
On Matu, it's a long name. It's like 8 of them. The brothers. You and Long used to watch it all the time.
We did?
Yeah, one of them is always naked.
Oh, I know that one.
I can't think of the name.
It's
I
always
wouldn't consider it a
naked.
sleeper. I mean, like, it's popular in Japan, but I
Yeah,
don't know
it's-
here. People don't know what it is. I know what you're talking about. It's Six Brothers.
Yeah, okay, there we go. 6 brothers.
Oh,
Asamatsu-san.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Mr.
I
Yeah,
know.
that was fun. That was funny.
I
If
know.
y'all haven't watched that,
I've seen some
Watch
clips
it.
of it.
I know it's big in Japan, but I don't know if it's big here. So I don't know if it's considered a sleeper.
It's so
Sleeper or
good.
not, watch it. It's funny.
Mr. Asumatsu, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
I've seen some clips of it. It's
It's pretty retarded, yeah.
What? Okay, this is that Christian question right here because you know
Oof.
he got
Oh.
plenty of he got plenty of waifus. Y'all should see his alternative
Yeah, you should
background
see
he got.
this is the second option.
So it's like, who is
Ah.
your go-to waifu or husbando, however y'all votes float in these streets?
All right. So there's 2 for different reasons. One is a very generic, popular one all around because she's she's built different. It is Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
Like it, I love it.
I mean, it says it all. She just built different, man. Like fucking amazing. But then my go-to gal that I think I watched the anime more because of her, and this actually goes back to the sleeper anime. Is Senjo Hara from Baka no Monogatari. It's a long ass name, but it's a cool anime. It's very niche, but it's a cool anime. It's and I like it. She's really cool and all, and you gotta watch the anime. It's called Baka no Monogatari. Jesus Christ.
Natari.
Yeah. Or you can just
That
search
one
up.
afterwards.
Yeah, you can find it. But people who've seen it. It's a great series. It's a very it's a lot of jokes and a lot of hidden and like innuendos in there.
Of course, you can't have waifus without them.
The series is fucking stupid. Like it's fucking stupid. Like you can enough. You don't watch this in the living room is all I'm going to say. And because some of the things they be saying, or like some of the scenes, the
Yeah, watch
animation,
with people who can't read.
yeah, there's this. All I'm going to say is people that know, look up on YouTube the toothbrush scene, and people that know the toothbrush scene, they're laughing right now because
Just the name of it, the toothbrush thing, sounds like some dirty.
that's what it's known as because it's so fucking stupid. But I can't explain it because it just sounds.
We
bad.
just gotta go check it out. Go
Check it
look
out.
up that toothbrush scene.
Take out
I'm
the
gonna
toothbrush
add it
scene.
to my queue right now.
Don't judge me after you watch the toothbrush scene because there's more to it, but it's one of my most favorite animes too, just because of.
I just typed the toothbrush scene in Google and it brings up the anime instantly without even typing the anime. So
that's what the
now I
fans
gotta
pretty
see
much-
this scene.
Yeah, that's what they dubbed it because any other title would just it wouldn't be fair.
You gotta watch it.
So yeah, but Senjo Hara, she's the main lead.
See, I like that. That's some different slice of life waifu.
And I think once you watch it, you can see why I picked her. But yeah, those are my 2 picks.
Got a husbando other than
Go
Space
first,
Dandy.
Danny. I'm sifting
for
right now
me?
because I can't remember.
So when it comes to the waifus out
Oh my
here,
gosh.
I usually go for like the more crazy ones. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to love some Esdeath, her little crazy self. I used to love. I like Toga right now. You know, she was.
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
And then like in Fairy Tale Juvia, her stalker self, I was like, great, what you doing? Juvia's right there trying to.
She's crazy.
She's doing it too. But I also do like the badass chicks, like you said, Mikasa. That's why like And during Fairy Tail, my favorite was like Mary Jane, even though she didn't get that much
Mm-hmm.
showtime. Mary Jane was so dope. She comes in, put on the demon armor, and it was just like, whew. But that's why right now the go-to waifu is probably who's the go-to waifu?
Oof.
Dang, I don't know. It was Mary Jane, but it's from My Hero Academia.
Oh, I already know who it is.
Why is the name escaping me right now? I know the name. And I suck with names. I know this name. I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna be like, yes.
Which one? The bunny lady?
Yes.
Yeah, the one.
Oh, Miroko?
Mirko.
There you go.
Mirko. I'm like, why did I forget his name? Mirko is the go-to. She's so dope.
I do like her.
Her scene that I'm trying to see, can't spoil it. It is an anime, it's manga.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
The scene that she was manga that you guys would see eventually, she was so badass. She was in there giving people the works, and she looks great, and she's fit. So she ain't taking nothing from people in these streets. I have to go at Merku because same reasons for Mikasa. She just built different.
Yeah, it's funny when you say you like the crazy type. I thought you were gonna pick Yuno from Future Diary.
I did.
Please
I was gonna say the name, but she went too crazy. So like even in Future Diary, 4-bit, she was cool.
She was cool,
but she went too crazy, and I'm like, all right, you tripping. Crazy that I go is S-Death. S-Death is the craziest we'd go out here.
I take S-Death too.
Take some S-Death. All right, Teresa, and your husbando.
And my husbando is Zoro from One Piece. He's directionally challenged, but you can't fight that first mate love he has for his captain. Like that one, what was it, when he was on Thriller Bark, I think, and then like Kuma came, and then he was about to wreck them. Yeah. And then Zoro was like, nah. And then
I'll take all
he was like, I'll take all, and put it into you. And he was like, aight. And he knocked Sanji out because Sanji wanted to, protect his captain too. And he just took it all. I was just like, that's mad respect right there. You can't hate on that man for that. So.
Boy, Sanji. Ladies, he'll never find the spot because he can't.
Oh.
This man.
He won. He's directionally challenged.
He is directionally challenged.
He's like, hey, what you doing?
And now he has one eye. It's even worse.
Right. I'm surprised they haven't done a thing where it's just like he ended up in the wrong anime, and they're just like, who's that?
That like, fourth wall breaking.
Like this Luffy here.
No, what was crazy was in the level One Piece gets in like Japan was crazy when we were over there. I was like,
oh heck yeah.
There. All in on them.
That's about it. I was like, I love it.
I'll say that for another time. Let me ask you the next question. Your favorite anime arc and worst anime arc.
Does GT count as an arc?
I counted as an arc. That shit was trash.
Okay, because that is doo-doo.
Throw the whole show out.
The reason it's not canon.
Like for me, this came up. The worst arc was super easy. It popped up, and I was like, "Oh, full bring arc from Bleach." That shit was trash.
God,
it was a trash arc. That full bring arc was trash. I don't need no other explanations. It was trash. You just reversed everything you did. It made him using his final Getsu or whatever he wants to call it pointless because it's like, oh, look, you got it back. It was so trash. It was trash.
Honestly, I need to watch Bleach.
Watch it. Bleach is great.
I need to watch it because you guys talk about it all the time, but I never watched it, so I can't relate too much.
Bleach is great up into Aizen, who was a great villain. And then Fullbring, and it was just like, what is this? What? Oh. If y'all wanted to give him his powers back, he's mixed with Quincy. Give him Quincy powers or something. Do something else other than reverse everything you did in the last arc. That was my worst. arc in anime. Though, like, I'm pretty sure there's some others out there. Like one that'll till people. Everyone loves the Ant arc and Hunter x Hunter, and it was one of my least favorite arcs.
What's your least favorite?
One of my least favorite arcs in Hunter x Hunter because it was so long. And it was just. How does one arc has two parts? Two arcs in one arc. You had pre-King, then you had post-King. Post-King is dope because that's when Boy Knuckles show up. That's when all the cool stuff is there. Pre-King is just like y'all getting worked by these ants, and they're evolving, and it.
Just like.
Yeah.
Get it.
This is so for the worst one. It's kind of.
If you gotta make that face, we know it's bad.
It's bad, but not in the sense that like the plot was bad. In the sense that it's just fucking dumb. So the I don't know. Have both of you guys watched Haruhi?
Haruhi
Suzumiya?
Yeah.
The Melancholy of whatever, right?
Yeah, the Melancholy of Haruhi.
The first season.
Overall, the anime is great. And I think that's Rod's waifu, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, the anime is great, except for the Endless 8 arc. And the Endless 8 arc is exactly what it sounds like. It's an endless loop of 8 episodes where they travel Approval Point. It's 8 episodes in a row where they repeat the same day over and over and over and over and over again. Except for the last 2 episodes where they finally introduce the character noticing and giving pointers to how to end the loop. That's the arc. That's it. That's the arc. That's it. That's all it is. It is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like,
I remember that.
I'm serious. You could literally skip that whole arc, go from the first episode of Endless 8 to the last episode, and you don't miss anything. Like, there's nothing important. It's the same exact episode. Literally.
That sounds so trash.
It's so trash because if you watch it for the first time, you don't know. So you're like, oh, next episode they're gonna add something to help them leave the loop, and then you watch the episode and you're like, okay, it's gonna be in the end. No. Okay, well the next episode. No. And for 8 episodes, it fucking pulls that shit, right? So what? It's trash. That's the worst I've ever seen. Just because it's so stupid. There's no plot, but it doesn't need any plot. It's so bad.
That sounds trash.
But also, I gotta respect the studio for committing to that shit. I don't know if they just copied and pasted, but
based on budgeting.
Yeah, but
like, our story only go 5 episodes. We need more.
But I shit you not. You could start on the first episode and then skip all the 7 episodes in between, and you don't miss any plot related device. You don't miss any details at all. You're good. And that's my trash arc of anime, right? Just because it was so fucking bad and a waste of time.
Let's see. Let's do my favorite first, because I'm still thinking of the worst one. My favorite, I got 2 actually. One of them, I talk about One Piece a lot, but that is an anime I legit read from the beginning. Like, I made a point to drop everything else for 2 weeks, read it from the beginning straight through to where it is. All right, and I watched the Chopper arc a lot on Toonami when it was showing up. Every time I watched it, it was just that same episode of the fucking tree, and then Chopper just I want to make medicine for that. I'm just like, okay, move on. But anyway, Water 7 to Marineford, that area, such a good arc. It was just it's so full of action. It was the fight scenes and the whole story going the way it needs to go, and I was just like, I just can't get it out of my head. It was just so fucking dope. Everybody was just on it, you know what I mean? My second favorite one is, I just had it. I lost it.
Marineford is a legendary arc, though. That is one of the best arcs.
That shit is so good. What was
in
it?
anime. Period.
Oh my god!
Marineford
Yeah.
is so
Oh.
legendary.
I remember Boku no Hero with Overhaul, and
Ah,
you get introduced to a million and stuff like that.
yeah. What's it called? What do you call it? The Yakuza Arc?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that is so
Yeah,
good.
that arc
I
is
was just
fire.
like, dang.
That
Villain
arc
was
is-
just like OP, but he had like, I get what he was trying to go at, but the way he was going at it was not good. You know, he's killing folks.
Yeah.
You know, never a good way. But like Lemillion just showed that it's just like no matter what kind of power you got, if you really train, you can make it dope. It don't matter.
Plus,
Let me-
Lemillion was
you know.
serving hands on a platter.
That
He
man
is
was like
the
the
goat.
fate of hands, bro. Yeah, I think one of my favorite arcs of all time was the Death Note, um, Death Note arc. You know, before they killed off
L.
L. Yeah, but before that, that arc was like great. It was so much mind bending, and you're like, oh, he caught him, and like, oh no, he caught him, and it was a good. Um, it was a good arc, like really well done, really a lot of plot points that paid off in the end, except they trashed it, but we're not going to talk about that.
I've seen that a lot. that L arc was one of a lot of people's favorite. I haven't seen Death Note since small, and back then I used to watch. You see an episode, and then you see this episode. It was never like
Oh yeah,
One
I
continuous,
never
yeah.
watched it all the way through. But that Marineford is on my list of one of the best arcs out because that is so legendary.
It just
Everybody
sticks
was
to
there.
you. Yeah.
Everybody pulled up to throw hands, and it was just great. It had everything. You got the action. It had some deaths, some big deaths that people weren't expecting. It was dope. And also, like, I also go to Naruto because I like the Pain arc. Pain arc when Akatsuki shows up, and that
Pain
whole
arc is great.
arc from them going through all the members of the Akatsuki to Pain was fire with a big climactic final fight of Naruto versus Pain when he returned to the village ready to save everybody. That was super dope. I like, for as much as I'm like, I don't know, I'm in like a love-hate with Hunter x Hunter. It also has one of my favorite arcs. It's called the York New arc, and that's the arc when Kirpia bought that shovel to the fight because he buried that dude.
I remember that.
He bought the shovel and buried that dude, and I was like, "That's the best thing ever."
That's so metal.
He pulled up, beat his ass, and was just like,
You buried him too.
"Like, where did the shovel come from? I bought it myself." Then left, and then they just like threw him out. Now we haven't seen him since that arc, and I was like, man,
No.
that's why
But
I
yeah.
have a love hate with them. But that arc is so
Definitely.
fire.
But like my worst anime arc, it's really hard just because it's like sifting through like a lot of anime that I watched over the years. You kind of just blend together sometimes.
Yeah,
But honestly, like if some people count GT as its own separate series, but I count that shit as an arc. How do you mess up how do you mess up Trunks and Goten? I mean, like the villains were pretty badass. I was just like, Baby was annoying as hell,
yeah.
but Trunks was a fucking bitch. I was just like,
I think that was
how you make him whack? Come on.
I think that was the biggest disappointment in GT. They had everything laid out in front of them. Goten was older, Trunks was older. Are we gonna see like older versions of them fuse? They gonna be fire. They
Exactly.
had dope villains, but it was like, no, you want to see Pan, you want to see whack Trunks, and you want to see Kid
His
Goku
fucking
go
cargo
on an
shorts, you're just
adventure.
like-
And I'm like, what is? How are you gonna leave all the cool sayings behind? What is this?
Yeah, it was,
Yeah. I think Dragon Ball Z's best arc was the Trunks to Cell arc. Like,
Yeah, the cell art with the androids.
yeah,
Androids itself.
the Trunks to Android to Cell, it was so good because the transition was like, you got this future traveler, you're training, you got androids, and then you got the actual androids, and then you got fucking incomplete Cell,
Till
and then
that
you got
perfect cell.
incomplete Super Saiyan 2 to complete Cell. That was
Was
probably
dope.
the
It was
best
fire. It was.
best DBZ arc.
But you know, for me, I actually like the Frieza arc a lot better. I think it was just like the mix of old school kind of thing. It was just like Frieza was the biggest baddie at that point. You know what I mean? And like Trunks, you're just like, oh shit, this guy from the future, he just killed his ass with his sword and all that kind of
That's
stuff.
Why I think
like
those two were like, why Dragon? Like you said, why Dragon was even so big. Those two arcs were just
fire,
chef kiss, and then they like. Majin Buu doesn't get talked about as like those two because his arc itself was just like With those two, like only part of Majin Buu arc I actually liked was when they Majin Vegeta versus Goku. Like that part was fire. Good. But Deborah, I don't really care about him.
No,
Bobbity, get Bobbity out of here. I don't care about them. And then Boo was just so overpowered that he just was sweeping everybody who came. Even when
then they made Hercules or Satan like the main, like one of the main characters to interact with Boo, and you're just like,
I will to this day never forgive how they fucked up Gohan's character.
Yep, I knew it was coming. That is
that's Dragon Ball Z's biggest sin ever. Like they fucked that up so bad. Like
I think that is the main reason why I hate that arc, because you showed all these episodes of him training with this sword and then you break the sword and it was just like, what was the point? What was the point?
And then they're like, oh, here's the point. He's gonna awaken his inner power and then he's gonna be the hero. And then he fucking he chokes. And I'm just like, my boy Gohan, y'all do him like that? Oh, come on, man.
Then he gets nerfed and does that stupid Saiyaman shit. And then he turns into Mr. Burning Dad. And I'm just
is what pissed me off about Mystic Gohan. The whole point of Gohan in the Cell battle was that he learned not to be cocky because it cost people lives. It killed his father. That's the whole point of the tournament. And well, at the end, that he learned his lesson. So why is he Mystic Gohan now? He's like, oh yeah, fuck all that. I'm gonna go back to being cocky because I'm Mystic now. I'm like, dude, it defeated the purpose of the Cell games. The whole point was him learning he's the ultimate fighter, but he gets too cocky, so he needs to just end the fight. And what does he do? He goes back to that same person, and that's where they fucked it up for me. I was like, not my boy Gohan, not my boy Gohan. Because it's and I'm heated about this because even Piccolo and Goku hyped this man up from the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. They're like, if you pay attention, Gohan has kept up with all the fighters since the very beginning. Since the arrival of Raditz, his power level was on there. He just didn't know how to control it. So the setup is there. It's like, Goku and Vegeta, but everyone knows the Gohan time is coming. And then Gohan times comes, and they fuck it up.
Even Vegeta was mentioning how Gohan was going to be the best of them.
Yeah, everybody was saying, this is the guy.
This is the young protege. He's going to be the best of us. And it was like, nah.
Nope.
People love Goku.
Man. I said, that is Dragon Ball's biggest and it's always going to be their biggest mistake is fucking up Gohan.
Yeah, it's the love for Goku. That's their biggest sin. But
you can still give Goku his thing without, fucking up whatever.
Everybody else. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
So the final question in this icebreaker of an episode is, what is an anime that you would like to see rebooted?
Does GT count?
No, we need to erase that from existence.
By rebooted, like, do you mean like one you like to see remade, or is it like
I think
see a season 2 that never got it, or
no? I think I would like it to be canon, but then obviously retcon that they make it their own instead of whatever the bullshit that was. So, which again, I've been telling you guys, I think they're gonna do it. They've been setting up a lot of Dragon Ball Super hints relating to GT that I think they're going to bring it back somehow. Obviously, maybe not Super Saiyan 4, but they're going to retcon it, all of it, like they did Broly, and it's going to be fire. I can tell. Because
I have a few. Because if we're talking about giving them another seasons. I want to see No Game No Life get a season 2 because as weird as that relationship was with the humans,
Yeah,
that's between them.
Weird.
The games they played were so dope and so just over the top that I was like, yo, this is fire. But if it's a remake, I would like to see. Also, I would like to see. This is why I have a love hate for this anime because I still want to see more of it. But that ant arc, it annoyed me so much. Hunter x Hunter stopped, but where they stopped at in the manga, they're going to like one of the best arcs, the Dark Continent arc, and I'm like, bro, I want to see this because Kirpir gonna come back, and it's a whole bunch of dope people going to the Dark Continent, and I'm like, yo, we need that animated. We need Hunter x Hunter to come back. I'll get on the fan bandwagon, and still not here with Gun and Kill You. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have his soap as well. Carol Peak is back, and I'm like, animate this. We need this back. Or remake Trigun.
You know, speaking of that, Teresa, I would like to see Outlaw Star rebooted. I think it would. I think the anime itself, it aged very well. It's just the animation that hasn't held up. So I think a reboot of Outlaw Star would be a good show to reboot.
Bro, you read my mind because I was just about to say that. I was like, I remember that's my first favorite Space Boy, and I was just like, bro, Outlaw Star would be hitting if we redid that.
Yeah.
You know, to kind of like bring it up.
I was thinking of Cowboy Bebop, but Cowboy Bebop, the animation made it classic.
It's classic. It's perfect.
Yeah,
It can end there. I think Cowboy Bebop.
It's just not like that. I want to see it again, but Outlaw Star would benefit a lot from a reboot.
Yeah, that's why it's like the reboot question is a little. I mean, like all these other questions, they're kind of hard just because it's like sometimes the animation is what makes that is perfect. One part of the anime that just like makes it great. You know what I mean? I would actually, and then it's like all these new animations, like they do that stupid ass CG thing where it looks retarded.
That 3D CG looking stuff
that weird
they start doing,
3D kind of thing. Yeah,
like the Sailor Moon Crystal transformation.
I don't understand what that was. That was
the first time I saw that, I was like, "Wait, what the?"
Yeah, it was ugly, and I was just like, apparently it got better, but whatever.
I wouldn't know.
I would actually want to see them redo Zoids too. The one with Big Cloud and like the Ligers and stuff like that.
That's where we go.
Yes,
Zoids was so dope. When they would be like, "Hold on, I gotta pull up back to the ship, put on my other armor." Now I'm Jaeger, but yeah, go get him. That was go get him. All he did was change skins, and we're like, "Yeah, go get him." My boy.
Oh, yes.
Yo, Zoids
that
was so
Outlaw
hype.
Star.
I remember that. The only other one I would add, and it's for just because I wanted more, was Soul Eater, because they in Soul Eater, like they briefly mentioned how there was a bunch of Kishins. So I thought after they beat the first, they're gonna go through like the list of all these other, because they showed like the old group, but they didn't. They just beat the one kitchen and that was it. So I was like, reboot it, make it longer so we can see more. I want more of the fighting, more of the Kishins, because it was dope. It was super dope.
Yeah, another one I would like to see rebooted would probably be Initial D, because I feel like it was good, and obviously they had movies and a good season, but I think a reboot of that would fill a hole that no one's filling right now.
Like, when did last time we get like a car?
Exactly.
Like that would have been fire. Like that would have been good, especially during that era where like Fast and Furious was like the hot, so it was like street racing was the shit. So that would have been a fire during that time. But Initial D's a good one. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But I guess that was the last of the icebreaker questions, and we're gonna clock it there for this first episode of Anime Club. Thank you all who stuck through with us, and we get this thing better, flowing more as time goes on. So, club is dismissed. I've been Danny, also Kid Animals.
This is Paco. Remember to go watch the toothbrush scene.
I Watched it. It's wild.
Please don't watch it. It's so stupid.
Don't listen to her, bro. The toothbrush scene is the best scene of all time. Okay, maybe not, but if you do anything that do like in the dentist industry, go watch it. It's the best thing. It'll give you some motivation.
I don't know what that was. I was like over here watching. I'm just like. Anyway,
All right.
Teresa and.
So, yeah. Until next time, and thank you. Class is dismissed. Is this a class? Is Anime Club a class?
Oh, Anime Club. Club's dismissed. Go
Club
home.
is dismissed. Go home.